back. Link Studios overlooking Caesars Palace. Tyler Fulghum, Joe Fortenbaugh. This is Bet. And this is going to be a big one because we have golf's second major set to tee off tomorrow from the Ocean Course at Kiawah Island. With that in mind, we're going to go to Kiawah Island for a conversation with Michael Collins, the former Caddie.
You think he'll stand us up this time?
Big question. Even money on whether or not he's actually going to hang on and speak with two fine gentlemen here. We also have our picks. Should you fade Dustin Johnson as we get set for tomorrow's opening round? And finally, NBA play-in picks for tonight as well. You, sir, have been doing very well carrying the show the last couple episodes. That has been very much appreciated.
I appreciate you.
You're looking for anything
hopping on board
in the NFL department, so to speak, or anything above and beyond all that good stuff, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting, where we've been rolling out a ton of additional and ancillary content from time to time. All right, let's get to work. Let it ride or cash out is the game. It's Wednesday. We roll out a statement. If you're agreeing, you're going to let it ride. If you disagree, you're going to cash out. So here we go. The Major League Baseball record for strikeouts by a batter in a single season is 223. That was set by Arizona Diamondbacks infielder Mark Reynolds in 2009. So let it ride or cash out. The Major League Baseball record for strikeouts by a batter in a single season will be broken this year.
And we'll let it ride on that bad boy. Okay, so over the course of 162 games to reach 224 strikeouts to eclipse this record,
Nicely
you
done.
basically have to average 1.38 Ks per game. We currently have 4 players in Major League Baseball averaging well above that, Brother Joe. Joey Gallo, surprise, 1.45.
No.
Eugenio Suarez at 1.46.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Eugenio.
I was going with Eugenio. Way
close
off.
enough.
That would have been way off.
Javier Baez, I know you can pronounce that one,
There you go.
and Nico Goodrum, both at more than 1.5 Ks per game. So I don't see this stopping with the way that pitchers are striking out batters at a higher rate than ever before because of launch angle or because of whatever you want to call it. Strikeouts are more prevalent in today's Major League Baseball than at any point in the history of the game. Therefore, I let it ride. Mark Reynolds will no longer hold this record.
And with that in mind, I will be letting it ride right alongside you, my friend, to add to some of those fantastic stats you just threw out there.
Throwed out there. So that's how pitchers be throwing that ball. Throw that ball right at them batters, and they freaking miss.
That's how you strike out on live TV right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Well done.
So
well done, Joey Gallo.
10 seasons in which we've seen batters strike out at the highest possible rate. 8 of those have come since 2012, and all 10 have come since 2009. To your point, we're seeing players strike out at a higher rate than ever before. That's where we're trending. Go get him, Joey Gallo. One thing, I went through the same numbers as you, same guys. Those are your top candidates. You're going to have to play a lot of games and get a lot of plate appearances to break this record as well. Reynolds played like 155 games that season, 578 at-bats, 1.37 strikeouts per game. So stay healthy, and Joey Gallo can definitely he'd be your front runner?
He would be my front runner.
He would be the front
He's
runner.
most likely to play 162, I think, and boy likes to have it.
Woo! All right, let it ride or cash out. Tonight's play-in showdown between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors will have not one, but 2 40-point scorers.
Very easy cash out for me in this bad boy. We have 2 of the better defenses as far as defensive rating in the NBA. We know the Lakers are number 1 in the NBA in defensive rating, even though they crafted that metric without Anthony Davis and LeBron James for much of this season. In the 3 games that these 2 teams met up this year, Joe, the highest point total by anyone wearing a Warriors or Lakers uniform was 27. Do you know who did that?
I would not have bet that.
2 different players. There were 2 different players that scored 27 points in one of the 3 matchups. Do you know the 2 players? Any guesses?
I think the way you're setting it up with excitement, there's a little bit of a trap coming here. So I'll say Andrew Wiggins.
No. One is very, very obvious. The other's a bench player.
The obvious one, Steph Curry.
The obvious one is Steph Curry. 27 is his high water mark. There's a bench player for the Lakers who scored 27 against Golden State during a big blowout.
Share it with me. Who is it?
Montrezl Harrell.
Would never have had that.
Montrezl Harrell had a 27-point game off the bench. Steph Curry, 27 was his high water mark. LeBron, the most he scored was 22, and AD played the Golden State Warriors one time and scored 17 points. 40 is not going to happen. Easy cash out in this game. I'm going under for almost all point props in this playoff playing game.
All right, so I'm going to go under as well, so we're going to cash out, and I can build on some of that great analysis right there. Let's look at the total and what Vegas is saying. This game opened with a total of 223.5. That's not a real high total in today's NBA, especially with tomorrow night showdown between the Pacers and the Celtics. No.
Celtics won.
Where did that open? No, wait a second.
No, Wizards. The Wizards lost.
The Wizards
lost the play-in
Still
game,
getting
so
used
they
to the play-in.
dropped one more opportunity to win the 8th spot.
Boy, this is how you strike out on TV. That total opened 241, so 223 isn't all that high. Then add on the fact that it's been bet down to 219, 219.5, depending on the book. So that's number one. Steph Curry would be one of the top candidates to probably try to get to 40 points. He doesn't score against the Lakers. He won the scoring title this year at 32 points per game. He's only scoring 23 points per game against the Lakers. They can defend, as you laid out very well. I don't think LeBron needs to go for 40 to win this. I don't think Davis needs to go for 40. One of the reasons why, as you mentioned, so many players are not going for 40 in the previous meetings. 2 of them were blowouts. Tonight could be as well. Not predicting that it is, but it could be. It could be good for our wallets if it is. All right, final one. Let It Rider cashed out. Currently priced at 18 to 1, 2020 United States Open champion Bryson DeChambeau will finish in the top 3 at this week's PGA Championship.
Another cash out for me with DeChambeau. He just recently said his confidence level coming into this particular tournament at this particular course, despite its length, only 75%. When asked to compare that to his confidence level going into that U.S. Open that he won, he said that was 95%. So even DeChambeau is telling you he's not as confident in his game at this course because there's no trees and wind will be a factor at some point. They're guessing it's going to be the weekend. Why is that an issue for DeChambeau?
Oh, I love what's coming.
Because he hits the ball so damn high with his launch angle and his ball speed and his velocity, that wind has a bigger impact on his ball flight than other players like, say, Jordan Spieth, who's from Texas and knows how to flight the ball down underneath the wind to keep it under control. So, no chance cashing out on a top 3 for DeChambeau.
Nicely done. I am right with you again, and I can build on some of what you just said. DeChambeau doesn't win in the wind. He's had 10 career victories across all the tours that he's played on, right? All of them have come in exceptional weather. Exceptional weather. He has never won in inclement weather. That's number one. In addition to that, what's the windiest of the 4 majors?
Usually the link over the seas at the Open Championship.
Open Championship. Guess what his best result is there? 51st. 51st. And last week at the AT&T Byron Nelson, which was also windy, he finished 55th. So let's break down some more. From the ocean course at Kiowa Island for this week's PGA Championship, we turn to our friend Michael Collins, who looks like a pool, a fantastic pool I am ready to jump into. Hypothetically,
I'm your
metaphorically.
friend now, huh?
Of course. Yeah, buddy.
I'm your friend now, since y'all gave even money on whether or not I'd even be here. Knowing
that,
y'all dissed me and said that I just dissed y'all last week, and that was not the case. It was technical difficulties. I'm standing out there ready to do the thing, and some stuff went bad. This is what happens and why Radio Shack went bankrupt, probably. I don't know. Stuff didn't work, but I was ready to talk to y'all last week.
We know it, Michael. We were just joshing with you. We're glad you're on the tee box now, ready to deliver some absolute bombs down the middle of the fairway as it pertains to the PGA Championship.
All right, so let's start with this. Rory McIlroy was the 10-1 favorite to win the PGA Championship last week. That has since crept up just a little bit to 11-1, but he's still the favorite. He won this event on this course back in 2012. How do you like his chances this week?
Well, look, 2012, that was chubby Rory, and the golf course was a little bit different as well, and in a lot different conditions. That being said, Rory McIlroy coming into this week off a win at the Wells Fargo in Charlotte is playing with some serious confidence. And yes, wind is going to be a factor here, but instead of blowing 20 to 30 miles an hour, the high wind speed is only supposed to be about 18, which means Rory can let loose with that driver and get a little bit, just a little bit, more scattered with it, and he won't be penalized as hard. Rory was my pick to win on ESPN.com, and I'm dancing with the one that brung me.
Wow, going with Rory to keep the hot streak going, win another PGA at a place he's won before. As you mentioned, this course is playing a little bit longer than it did 9 years ago. As a matter of fact, it is a record-breaking course in terms of its length at a major. 7,876 yards is what Kiowa is going to measure for these pros. Now, common sense would suggest someone like Rory or DeChambeau, who can hit the ball 350 yards off the tee, would be a pick to win. I know you mentioned Rory, but who do you think can dominate this course despite its length?
Well, you guys were talking about it early. The Bombers are known to be bombers, not because they can just hit it far, but they can carry it so far, which also means the wind affects the ball more. Everyone, and I mean players and caddies that I've spoken to this week, said one thing matters around this place more than anything else, and that is your short game. Webb Simpson is the best in the world when it comes to short game rankings-wise, but the guy who I love when it's money and crunch time, Patrick Reed. That guy could get up and down from a mailbox if he needed to. And this dude already has a green jacket, and where the short game is going to matter here at Kiowa, well, Patrick Reed is confident as heck with his short game right now, because I talked to him about it for the last 3 days.
Our first major of the year, the Masters, was won by a first-time major winner in Hideki Matsuyama. Are there any non-major winners in the field this week who you like to break out, much like Matsuyama did at Augusta National?
I would love to say yes, but the problem is this week, if it was super duper windy, then you could get some strange things happening to the best players in the world. But because the wind is going to be down, and I know it seems really windy right now, but this is nothing to what they're used to, I think it's going to be harder for a first-time winner to win this week at the PGA Championship, even though this is the one major championship where the quote-unquote one-hit wonders happen.
All right, Michael, it sounded like you had a couple of big names that you liked. You mentioned on ESPN Chalk, Rory McIlroy was your pick. Patrick Reed's a name you mentioned as well. Officially right now, who is going to win the 2021 PGA Championship?
If I have to pick the winner right now, I'm sticking with Rory McIlroy, but I'm going to give you a sleeper. I think he's at like 90-1.
Well, that's what I
Charl
wanted to get it
Schwartzel.
officially on record, who you like the most, and then I wanted to follow it up with the way that people like to bet is not betting a favorite. They want a dark horse, someone who's going to return a lot of cash when they throw down a bet at the ticket window. So who is someone outside of your favorite to win who is, let's say, 25-1 to long shot odds or more to win this championship?
Hey, the guy that I like, I think, is at 90-1 right now. Charl Schwartzel. I started having conversations with him back at the Arnold Palmer, and he was talking about how he was going through a phase where he was hitting the ball really well and just wasn't scoring. And we laughed earlier this week on the driving range where he said there were times that I would get home on a Saturday and my wife would ask, "How'd you hit it?" "I hit it good." "Well, if you hit it good, why are you here?" "I'm just not scoring." Well, that's part of the problem. But guess what? This guy, they finished second. Him and Louis Oosthuizen finished second in a playoff down at New Orleans. And guess who finished second last week, shooting 24 under par? Charl Schwartzel. His ball striking has been phenomenal. This week, when I saw him on the driving range and we were sharing stories, I said, "Hey, are you working on anything?" And he goes, "Nah, I'm good. Just trying to keep it where I'm at." What? At 90-1? Where's the window?
Yeah, that's what we like. Former tour caddy, ESPN golf analyst. He's the man, he's the myth, the legend. Kind enough to join us here, Michael Collins on Bet. Thank you, Michael. Looks fantastic, by the way. How much fun would it be there this week?
Patrick Reed on the range with Charl Schwartzel. I mean, the guy has every club in the bag, quite literally.
He does. All right. Now, it wouldn't be a show called Bet, and it wouldn't be a good conclusion to the segment unless we laid out our own bets for Kiowa Island. So here we go, the 103rd PGA Championship from the Ocean Course at Kiowa Island, playing to a major record, as you said, 7,876 yards. This event was hosted on this course in 2012. Rory McIlroy won going away. This is called Par 3. Give me your three best bets.
Just for kind of perspective, I played golf on a course yesterday measuring 6,700 yards, so adding another 1,000 plus to that would be scary for my score.
How did you hit them?
I did actually. I shot pretty well. I shot a 79. 79. That would be closer to a 99, maybe 109.
It's outstanding that we were able to get that into the show.
Well, you asked. I wasn't going to offer it. Let's start with this. I'll offer this up. How bad is Ricky Fowler right now? Like, I don't know what happened to him. He never won a major, but he always used to at least be a top 10, top 15 type of guy. He is not even that now. I found Ricky Fowler to miss the cut at plus 110 on Caesars
plus
Williams.
money to miss the
Plus
cut?
110 for him to miss the cut. I smashed the button on that bet. He has, first of all, how are you getting juice on this bet when someone has been as bad as Ricky Fowler, missed the cut in 5 of his last 9 events, including each of his last 2, and if the conditions are as difficult as some would lead it to believe, someone who has as in his head as Ricky Fowler, who has as little confidence in his game right now as Ricky Fowler, to miss the cut at plus 110, I'm jumping all over that.
Let me throw one other thing. There's a tweet the other day he sent out with him and his girlfriend in front of a really awesome Mercedes next to a private jet, talking about, we know it's been a tough year for a lot of people. We just want to thank the private jet company and the Mercedes-Benz for being such great sponsors. It's like, all right, dude.
Listen,
congratulations on the tough year.
Ricky's doing fine with his life, so I'm sure just fixing his golf game is probably like 4th, 5th, or 6th on the order of importance and priorities in his life. Someone who has prioritized his game and has gotten returns on it as of late is actually a major winner, Jordan Spieth. Plus 163 to finish top 10 for Spieth. We know he needs to win this event to complete the career slam and move higher up the list of all-time greats in the game. He has been top 10 in 6 of his last 8 events, Brother Joe. He's got the game for this specific test. He rises to the occasion at the toughest events, plays well at majors, and the win will not bother someone who grew up playing in Texas, knows how to flight his ball properly, and who has a better short game right now, like Michael Collins was saying, than Jordan Spieth. Creative around the green, the putting from medium distance and length. The guy can score around the green. So Spieth plus 163 on DraftKings, I believe, to finish top 10. Then finally on outright winner, we know that this is often a venue or an event where a first-time winner breaks through. And Xander Schauffele at 22-1. Exactly, Morikawa at Harding Park. TPC Harding Park in San Francisco. Schauffele at 22-1. This guy has 7 top 6 finishes in 15 major starts. So to put that in perspective, this guy has finished top 6 in 46% of the majors that he has entered in his career. This guy is a big game hunter, also has a game similar to Spieth, where he just scores well in difficult conditions. One of 3 golfers in the field who is top 4 or top 3, top 20, I should say.
You'll get there.
Top 20, that was 2 strikes. Top 20 in all 4 strokes gained stat category. So all-around game that fits. Spieth top 10. Ricky missed the cut. 22-1. It's Xander Schauffele to win.
It's a strong card. There was a hiccup there on 18 as he was bringing the analysis home.
He's trying to bring home that 79.
Still a great
one
round.
in the drink on 18. It happens.
Still a great round. I like the card. Very few disagreements. I will begin with Jordan Spieth as well. He is minus 110 against Dustin Johnson in a 4-round matchup. Have you seen the trajectories between these 2 golfers as of late? What on earth would compel anyone to price them evenly? Let's talk about Spieth. Just a little extra additional nugget to everything Tyler laid out. He's finished in the top 10 in 7 of his last 9 events. Top 10 in 7 of his last 9. He is as bankable as they come right now. Dustin Johnson is the exact opposite. He has 1 top 40 finish in his last 5 stroke play events, and he just withdrew from the AT&T Byron Nelson, citing knee pain, right? Knee issues. The last time he did that was the week before the Masters, and he missed the cut at the Masters. It's the 3rd time this year he's withdrawn from an event. DJ's a great golfer, but right now he's not playing well. Spieth is a great golfer. Right now he's playing exceptionally well.
Right.
They're priced exactly the same. Jordan Spieth minus 110 over Dustin Johnson 4-round matchup. Bet number 2, Dustin Johnson to miss the cut at plus 333. For all the reasons I just laid out. At 3-1 and a little bit extra on top, I'm going to take a shot at that.
I like the value.
I end up missing on that, so be it. But the analysis is there. One thing I always try to get across to people who are just betting golf, it's not just about finding great golfers and betting on them. It's about finding guys who are either hurt or playing poorly and betting against them. That's what we're doing here. And at plus 333, he did miss the cut at the Masters. It's not like he's been in great form. 1 top 40 in his last 5
I can get on board with that.
I'm going to fade him. And keeping with the trend, we're going to fade Brooks Koepka as well. Plus 163 to miss the cut. Koepka has played in 2 events since knee surgery in March. He had a dislocation issue and he had ligament damage. He came out and tried to play the Masters. He missed the cut. He tried to play the AT&T Byron Nelson last week. Guess what happened? He missed the cut. He's not in good form. He's a great golfer who's struggling, and he's going against a loaded field on a tough course. Guys that can bomb away on this course, that's fantastic. He can do that. but he is hurt. He is not playing well. We just saw it last week. Plus 163. I'm absolutely going to take a shot on him to miss the cut there. Love the guy. Would love to see him at his best again. But right now he's hurt, so let's make some money going the other way.
Yeah, I don't mind it because I'm actually not a Koepka guy. I'm not a Koepka guy.
Just you don't like him.
Well, it has more to do with one of my old compadres loving him so much.
Ah, yes.
It made me turn against him.
That makes perfect
sense. You know that kind of thing?
It has nothing to do with Koepka. You just deal with someone who's so annoying. It's like, you know what?
Exactly.
I hate that guy because
just
of you.
because you like him so much. So sorry, Brooks. It's not your fault.
It's not you.
It's not your fault.
It's the other guy. All right, NBA play-in pick'em. Let's get to work. We've got 3 games to discuss over the next few minutes. Thank God for Tyler Fulghum. I went 1-3 on Monday. Did not contribute to the cause at all. Russell Westbrook got 3 steals, which puts me over on that prop, but I bombed out on everything else. You were 2-2.
Okay.
You carried me late last week. You're carrying me again. We're 3-5 for the week. We got today and tomorrow to make it up. I owe you. I'm going to come through.
Get back at it.
First game, Memphis Grizzlies laying 4. Total of 223 against the San Antonio Spurs.
Grizz and Spurs. This one's hard to handicap for me.
Extremely hard.
I tried to find some trends from their 3 matchups this season, and I found one. But it also made me kind of pause and look at the total here. I'm going to go over 223. Why? Take a look at the 3 matchups from these 2 teams this season. They averaged 242 points per game. So you almost have a 19-point cushion here for their 4th matchup based on the trend they showed us in each of the first 3 games. Now, the point totals were dropping in every game. It was 250 to 240 to 230 by the 3rd game. But I still think we're going to see this go over in this matchup. They have beat this margin by 19 points per contest. I still think we have some room to work with despite that trend of the total coming down. 223 seems too low for 2 teams, Brother Joe, that averaged better than 240 points when they met this season.
Okay, so this is going to get a little awkward because I'm going to play the under in that game. And unfortunately for me, you're hot and I'm not, so this probably is great news for you. Let's talk about those 3 games in question. One was the first game of the year, December 23rd, 24th.
23rd.
The other 2 happened before we got to February 2nd, right? Early in the season. I want you to start by looking at this. Everybody loves the over in this game.
And their Tyler.
The money, the tickets, everybody loves it. But why is it so low if the 3 previous games went so high? So number 1, I'm going to be fading the public here. Number 2, those first 3 games, again, from end of December to the beginning of February. Since that time, the Spurs' pace has gotten slower. The offense has gotten a little bit worse. But I want you to focus on one key player, Jaren Jackson. Jackson was not around for any of that stuff at the beginning of the year. In fact, he only came back late in the year for Memphis. He's only played in 11 games. In those 11 games, the Memphis Grizzlies are averaging 106 points per game. That's with Jaren Jackson. Without Jaren Jackson, they are averaging 114 points per game. That is a sizable difference. Main reason, it's not that Jackson can't play offense. It's that the chemistry issues are profound right now when he is on the court from an offensive perspective. You throw that in with a couple things sliding away from San Antonio late. Memphis has put together a pretty good defense this year. Neither team is all that great when it comes to offensive efficiency. I am going to play the under. I am going to hold my nose. I don't think this is going to be an easy one if I have any shot at getting it done. Game number 2, the big one we've all been waiting for. The Lakers of Los Angeles are laying 5.5. The total's 218.5. They're going to be hosting the Warriors of Golden State.
This one seems easier for me to handicap because I really think the Lakers are just going to beat the brakes off the Golden State Warriors and earn that 7th seed in the Western Conference.
Wearing your Lakers yellow.
They pretty much did that all season long. They won the 2 games by double digits. The game they lost, they had a 14-point fourth quarter lead that they blew. So they're basically up by double digits and won that 3rd one. Whatever. You throw that one out the door.
Oh, this is a Kendrick Perkins bet.
This is a K-Perk special. Because I think the Lakers are going to blow the doors off the Warriors, I'm going to lay 3 in the first half. I went back in all 3 of those matchups, Brother Joe, and looked at the first half margin between these 2 teams. The Lakers won the 3 games in the first half.
By how many?
By a combined 60 points. That is 20.
Stop. The first half.
The first half of the game.
60
the
points.
First 24 minutes of the 3 games. I think it was a 14-point margin, a 19-point margin, and a 26-point margin or something.
Well, at least the Warriors got better.
The reason being, well, think about it. What does Doug Kazarian like to talk about on Daily Wager all the time as it pertains to
lots of things.
substitution patterns with the Golden State Warriors?
Yes.
Steph Curry plays about 6 minutes, half of the second quarter, because he plays all of the first quarter. So the Warriors can keep it close for the first quarter, but in those non-Steph minutes, the Lakers absolutely obliterate the Golden State Warriors. So I see that trend continuing in this game. Steph is not going to play 24 minutes in the first half. When he is off the floor, the Lakers will put their throats on the neck of the Golden State Warriors. And I like this so much, it might be my best bet in daily wager today. Laying 3, first half, L.A. Lakers.
That show you just mentioned,
special.
what time is that show on and what channel can I find it?
You can find it on ESPN2 at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Very nicely done. All right, let's get to work. I'm going to play right into what you're doing, but I'm going for the full game. I've got patience. This game to me is a bottle of fine wine. I'm going to let it marinate.
No.
Not a rush like this guy.
I'm chugging
potatoes
beers.
and vodka.
Chugging
beers
beers.
again. I'm going to play the full game. I'm going to lay the 5.5 with the Lakers. You laid out a fantastic case. I'll throw in one other thing. Steph Curry needs to be huge if the Warriors are going to have any chance in this game. Steph Curry does not play huge against the Lakers, at least this season. He just doesn't have the help offensively. I know they've been coming together better late in the year, but they've expelled a lot of energy trying to get to this play-in game. Meanwhile, the Lakers have been rested. People are, they're hurt, they're this and that. No, they're rested. They're going to come out. They're going to be firing, which is one of the reasons to like that first half bet, courtesy of Mr. Fulghum. I want to throw some out there with Steph. This season, he was your NBA scoring champion at 32 points per game. 3 games against the Lakers, 23 points per game. His field goal shooting way down. His three-point shooting way down. It's pedestrian. It's like 32%. I can hit that from the pool if I've had only a couple sangrias before I get in there and start shooting. All right, so ultimately, love the Warriors. Love what you've done all year. It's been a great season. You're going to still have an opportunity.
You can still get the 8 spot.
Yeah.
You can still get the 8
Still
spot.
have another opportunity, but I will lay the 5.5 with the Lakers of Los Angeles.
Nailing down the 7.
That Warrior defense, by the way, I know the defensive rating is high. They're 18th in points allowed. It's like I watch them. I don't think they're as good as the rating indicates. But who am I to question the analytics of the whole thing? Game number 3, this one's going to be tomorrow night. The Washington Wizards, who looked awful against the Boston Celtics, are laying 3, total of 238.5, against the Pacers, who looked fantastic against the Hornets. What are you going to do?
Yeah, 144 the Pacers hung on the Hornets. Got Malcolm Brogdon back, and that's obviously a big deal for their offense. No Karis LeVert still, which kind of stinks. I'm going to play the over in this game, at least lean towards the over of 238.5. Washington first in pace all season long. Indiana, we know that late season surge they had in pace, but then it kind of backed down a little bit or throttled back at the end of the season. Now they have Brogdon back, and the pace picked up again against the Charlotte Hornets. Well, that's helping them score 144 points. So this one, again, hard for me to lean. Maybe I change by the time we actually get to tip-off, but I lean over thinking it will be a track meet and an easier matchup, I think, defensively with no Miles Turner on the floor for guys like Brad Beal and Russell Westbrook to get buckets.
Honesty is the best policy in most situations. I'm going to say most, not all. Definitely not all. We can't have the president telling us everything that's going on in the world. We would panic and freak out.
Or if your wife asks you certain questions and is fishing for a certain answer.
Not in my personal situation.
No.
Other dudes.
Just in general.
Other dudes.
I don't have a wife,
like
so what do I know?
Yeah, he doesn't have to do that either. Honest guys here. I don't really like anything in this game. Why? If Washington looks so bad and Indiana looks so good, why is Indiana catching 3 points in this game? Why isn't it closer to pick them? I'm going to play the over with you because I want to have some fun. The pace, the shooting, the lack of defense on both sides of the ball. 3 meetings together this year. 256 points, 295 points, 265 points. That third one was in overtime, regulation 248. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to go over.
we might
I'm rooting against scoring in this game.
Agreed.
All right.
Agreed.
Before I let you go, one final bet before we get you out the door and focus on Daily Wager, 6 p.m. Eastern, ESPN 2. What do you got?
I'm going to turn to baseball.
Yes.
And I know I have to do some extra convincing when it involves my team, the St. Louis Cardinals. If they match up tonight with the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jack Flaherty is on the bump. I don't know if you've heard, Jack Flaherty has won each of his last 7 assignments, 7-0.
Been awesome.
In his last 7 starts. We know the Pirates are just kind of the Pirates this year. Maybe going to be jockeying with the ball.
Doing what they do.
For a worst record in baseball. I'm going to play the Cardinals run line in the first 5 innings. So that's minus a hook. They got to win the first 5 innings, which Flaherty will probably pitch by just 1 run. Nolan Arenado's hot. Arenado, I should say, homered in each of his last 4 games. That offense, a massive advantage over Trevor Cahill, Jack Flaherty on the bump. Lay on the run line, first 5 for the Redbirds.
Baseball as well. Team I used to cover, so you can go ahead and criticize me for this as well as I bust your
Convince
chops.
me, my friend.
Giants Reds over 8.5 runs. Kevin Gossman's pitching for the Giants. He has been outstanding this year, but the Reds are the best in the business against right-handed pitching. Number 1 in home runs, number 1 in weighted runs created, number 2 in WOBA. On the flip side, the Giants have been very good against left-handed pitching. Top half of the league in virtually everything. They're going against Wade Miley, who's just shy of a 4 ERA. When you get to both bullpens, both are in the bottom 10 in ERA. So even when the starters turn it over to the Pens, we should get some more runs. And oh, by the way, Cincinnati has been scoring at an explosive rate this year. 3rd in runs per game at 5.25. Tyler Fulghum, Joe Fortenbaugh. We will see you back here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you for watching.